Hi guys, welcome to Sudeep Verse, and I hope everyone's doing good. Now this video is very critical for all my UPSC aspirants because this video is about revisions. Many of my students come to me and tell me that I've read the book 6 times, 7 times, I'm still not able to recollect properly the concepts that are there in the book. The reason for this is what you call as revisions is not revisions. What you are doing is rereading. Now rereading is not equal to revisions. Rereading is a passive activity. Many students, what they do is when they read any concept for the first time, they underline all the paragraphs and go. And when they want to revise, they will go back to that concept and they will reread all the paragraphs line by line, just like they did it the first time. This exercise is not called revision. This exercise is called rereading. Rereading is a passive exercise where your eyes is doing a lot of work, your brain is not. There is no activity called recollection. You are just rereading the same thing what you did the first time again and again and again, and you are expecting that just because you are rereading, your mind should recollect everything, and that is not going to happen. Now let me give you an analogy to understand the difference between rereading and revision. Now assume that you are going to the gym to become physically fit. Now whenever you go to the gym, you just look at the equipments but not exercise. You every day go to the gym, look at the equipments and come back. By doing this, you will not become physically fit. Now this exactly is what is rereading. When you go to the books, you are just reading the literature, you are giving exercise to your eyes but not your brain. And then you expect that you can recollect everything from those textbooks. It will not happen. So rereading is exactly like going to the gym and just looking at the equipments. Revision is like you are making your brain sweat. How do you make your brain sweat is to give work to your brain, and that work comes in the form of restructuring and recalling. Alright, now since we have understood what is the difference between rereading and revision, let us illustrate by taking 3 important articles. I will show you the article one by one. Look very closely because it is the most common mistake done by most of the aspirants. First, I will show you the wrong done by many of the aspirants thinking that it is revision, but it is not, but it is rereading. The next, I will show you the exact manner how revisions has to be done. As I told you, revisions involve 2 aspects. One is restructuring and the second is recalling. So I am going to do it with you. So please make sure that you watch till the end of the video. Don't miss out. The first article that I am showing on the screen is about public distribution system. Now let us assume that this is a topic that you are going to study. 99% of the students who are going to study this will go ahead and study it. And after they study, this is how it looks. You're looking at the screen about public distribution system, and you're looking at the screen after any UPSC aspirant will study about the public distribution system. This is how their article will look after the first reading. So as you just saw, whenever an aspirant reads any article or any concept for the first time, they end up underlining almost everything in that particular article or concept, and this is the most common mistake. Now when you underline the entire concept, your mind does not prioritize which is important and which is not. And if your mind does not know to prioritize, then your mind does not know how to recollect. So this results in you going back the second time to that article or concept and rereading the entire thing again. This happens the 3rd time, the 4th time and the 5th time. Now you are under the false belief that you have read that concept 5 times, but it is not so. You are just rereading it, and that is not going to incrementally improve your recollection of that concept. Now this is the major flaw, and this is what you have to correct, because rereading will not help you get grip over that concept. Okay guys, now let me show you exactly how revision has to be done on the same article. Look at this very carefully and learn from it, because if you implement this in your preparation, it will do you a wonder of good in any concept that you read. Now you are looking at the article that is known as public distribution system. Now here I have read the article. This time I have not underlined everything. I have only underlined the keywords. What do you mean by keywords? Keywords are those things that are important to you that you want to recollect when you come back the second time to read the same concept. So only those things that you feel that it is important for you to recollect in your second reading or third reading, only mark those things, and those are known as your keywords, and it is these keywords that will help you prioritize what to recollect and what not to. Otherwise what happens, you will end up marking even the English along with the keywords. When you mark the English along with the keywords, your mind does not know what to prioritize. Everything seems to be the same, and you will end up rereading the entire concept instead of recollection. So as you can see on the screen, once you're reading the article, mark the important keywords. Also in the same article, you can see that along with the keywords, I have also numbered inside the paragraphs. The number of points that are there within the paragraphs are shown in the form of numbers. Now these numbers will help me recollect those number of points when I come back for the second time to read, and hence you can also use this numbering to also act as an hint for you to recollect. Alright, so this is what you have to do whenever you read. It can be the first reading or the second reading. Usually what happens in the first reading, people don't want to get into that complexity. They just want to understand what the concept is. That is also okay. But when you come back to the second reading, do this. Mark only the keywords, and if there is any pointers inside the paragraphs, you can use numberings so that when you come back to recollect, it should act as a hook so that it gives you an order to recollect. So this is what you have to do in your first reading. Now after reading this, I told you that revision is nothing but restructuring. So what exactly is restructuring that I'm doing here is, once I'm done with completely reading the public distribution system, now I will go back to that article. Once I go back to that article, I will go paragraph wise and try to give some type of an heading for every paragraph. That heading should be 1 or 2 words, and that 1 or 2 words should indicate what that paragraph is trying to tell you. This is what is known as restructuring. Now as you can see in the screen, in the public distribution system article, you can see that the first paragraph, according to me, I am restructuring it as purpose and design. The second paragraph is evolution, the third paragraph is issues, and the fourth paragraph is way forward. So this way, I'm trying to give one heading for one paragraph, and that heading for one paragraph is what is known as restructuring. So when I come back for the revision, I will look at the heading and I will try to recollect all the keywords that I marked in that paragraph. This exercise of looking at the heading and trying to recollect is what exactly is known as revision. Now let us go back to the article and assume that we are reading it for the second time, so we have to revise it. Now when we are going for the second time, we have to recollect and not reread. So what are we going to do? When we go to the public distribution system, as you are seeing on the screen, there are 4 important subheadings. So take those subheadings. For example, the first subheading is purpose or design, the second is evolution, the third is issues, and the fourth is way forward. So let us come to the first subheading and close your eyes and try to recollect what you had studied in the first reading. Many people will be able to recollect 1 point, that is also okay. If you are able to recollect only 1 point, then go back and reread the other 3 points, come back, close your eyes and recollect all the points. So this is what is very important. For example, let us say that I'm doing my second reading. In my second reading, let us say the first heading reads purpose and design. So I close my eyes and I try to recollect what is there in the first paragraph. In the purpose, it is the largest food security system in the world, and it provides subsidized food grains for economically weaker sections. What is the design? The design is it comes under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs and it works under the National Food Security Act. See, this is how you have to recollect by looking at just the heading. Next, let us go to the next heading called evolution. In the evolution, you can say that in the 1990s, it was known as targeted public distribution system. Today, it is a universal public distribution system, which includes Anna Antyodaya Yojana. So this is now evolution. This is what you are recollecting under the heading called evolution. The third, if you come, you should recollect whatever the points that are there in issues. Now in the issues, you have numbered the points that you have to recollect. It is okay that if you're not able to recollect exactly all the points, whatever you can, you try to recollect. If you're not able to recollect all, go back to the article, read those you are not able to recollect, come back, close your eyes and redo the same exercise. This is what is known as revision. So in the issues part, if you can close your eyes and recollect, you can see that there is leakages, then there is inclusion, exclusion errors, then there is lack of last mile delivery. So these are some points in issues. Then go to the way forward. In the way forward, you can talk about structural reforms, you can talk about decentralization, you can talk about local procurement, as well as having an effective grievance redressal system. So whenever you come back to this article called public distribution system, you have these 4 headings and you keep recollecting the points under these 4 headings. This is called active recollection. So what have you done? In the first or the second reading, when you are reading, you have restructured the content to show which are the important keywords, and then you have given the heading for every paragraph so that it acts as a base for you to recollect the keywords from that base. Now when you come back for the second or the third or the fourth reading, you are going to use those headings and you are going to then recollect actively all the keywords that comes under that heading. If you keep doing this for at least 3 to 4 times, you will remember everything about public distribution system once you are done with it for 4 or 5 times. And this exactly is how revision is done. Now I hope that article gave you clarity of how to go about it. Now as I had promised in the beginning that we will illustrate 3 articles, let us go to the second article to understand even better. Now this article is important because this article seems to be technical. So whenever there is a technical article, how to recollect and how to revise, that is why it is important. So please watch this. Now in your screen, you are watching an article that is named as Cyclones in India. Now, the moment a student is reading this article, this is how it looks after the student completes reading this article that is known as Cyclones in India. Now, what I want you to do is, if you are a sincere candidate, pause the video, read the article, see how you can mark the keywords and how you can structure the entire article by giving it headings. Try this even before you move on to the next part of the video where I show it myself, and if you can do it, that means you have cracked open how exactly revisions has to be done. Okay, so pause the video and try it out. Anyways, I will continue for the sake of convenience. Now, I am showing you how the students will perform when they read this article in the Hindu editorial or in their NCRTs or in the books. Just because it is technical doesn't mean that it is difficult to recollect. Look at it how easy it becomes once you restructure the content and you recollect. Now, let me show you how I have done. After reading the article, you're looking at the screen. This is how I have marked the important keywords within that paragraph. So after marking the important keywords, I know that in my second or third reading, I want to come back and recollect only these keywords that are there in this article that is important for me to write the answer. It really does not matter to mark English when you are reading for the first time. Please stop marking English. English will always be written in your own words when you're writing the answer. So when you're writing that answer in English, it is the keywords that you have to recollect and put in that English language that will make sense for that question. So if you want to recollect the keywords, you have to mark the keywords for that particular concept when you're reading itself. And that is why this exercise becomes very important. So as you can see in the screen, right now I have read about Cyclones of India and I have marked all the important keywords that I want to recollect when I want to come back and revise Cyclones in India. And as I've told you, after reading the entire article or entire concept, I will come back again and paragraph wise, I'm going to show you how to restructure it. Now, I have given heading per paragraph on what exactly that paragraph is trying to tell me, and this heading, as I have already told you, will act as a base for me to recollect the keywords in that particular paragraph. This is what is known as restructuring. So I have done my first part. So now let us say that you have finished your reading, the first reading or second reading, where you have restructured the content. So what is restructuring? Restructuring is identifying the keywords and then giving headings to every paragraph so that that acts as a framework for you to recollect when you come back. This restructuring is done. Now, when you come back to the article and you want to revise, you will look at the headings and then try to recall whatever important keywords that are there within that paragraph. Let us say that I'm looking at Cyclones in India and the first heading is origin. Under origin, let us say these are the points I can recollect. They are cyclonic storms, they are low pressure systems, they are high flowing winds, and they provide high precipitation. These are the keywords that I can recollect. Let us say that I have missed out 1 or 2 points. I'll go back and see what all points I missed. Then I come back and I recollect again. Then go to the second paragraph. In the second paragraph, the heading is classification. In the classification, it can be in India, pre-monsoon cyclones, post-monsoon cyclones, or it can also be classified as depressions, deep depressions, cyclonic storms, severe cyclonic storms, or super cyclones. This is the classification that can be done. Then go to the next subheading, that is favorable conditions. Under favorable conditions, try to recollect again. It can be warm oceanic surfaces, it can be low wind shear, it can be Coriolis force. So these are the 3 points that I can recollect. I will go back and see if I have missed out on anything. Again, then I will come back to disaster management. In disaster management, I'll talk about early warning systems, satellites, radars, NDRF and SDRF. These are the different aspects of disaster management. And then I will go back to the next subheading, that is examples, and I'll try to recollect the super cyclone of Odisha, cyclone Falin and cyclone Fani. So whenever I want to recollect the concept called cyclones in India, I keep coming back to this particular concept. I look at the subheadings and I keep recollecting the keywords that are there in that paragraph under the heading. If I keep doing this for 4 to 5 times, I will always remember this article or concept that I can reproduce in the exam, and this is exactly what is needed, and this is what exactly is called revision. Let us again lastly illustrate how to revise basic static content. Again, when you're revising Lakshmikant or when you're revising anything like modern India or ancient or medieval, it is very, very easy to recollect the basic static content, and for that, look at the illustration. Now, I am showing you the preamble to the Constitution of India. This is the important static concept that you people will read in your Lakshmikant under the subject of Indian polity. Now, most of the aspirants, once they are done reading the preamble of India, this is how the article would look in their book. They would have underlined each and everything. Alright, now to just use our technique of applying restructuring and recollection, look at the article that I have read already. I have marked the important keywords and I have already given the subheadings. Okay, as you can see, the subheading goes as authority. Then you have the nature of Indian state. The third is the objectives of Indian Constitution, and the fourth is the date of adoption. So now, since we are already done with restructuring, half of the job is already done. when you come back the third or the fourth reading, this is all you have to do. Let us say that you go back to the preamble to the Constitution of India. The first heading is authority. So authority is we the people of India. The second is the nature of Indian state. The nature of Indian state is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. What are the objectives of Indian Constitution? That is justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. What is the date of adoption? That is the 26th of November 1949. Look how easy it becomes to recollect the entire preamble if you have the headings and if you have the keywords, and all you have to do is use the headings and recollect the keywords. This approach works, and this is how you have to revise for all the concepts that you will be doing in your UPSC preparation. Alright guys, I hope you understood the difference between rereading and revision by looking at these illustrations. To just summarize rereading and revision, rereading is a passive exercise, revision is an active exercise. Rereading takes less time, whereas revision takes more time. Rereading will give you confidence but no retentivity. Revision will give you both confidence and retentivity. Imagine that rereading is like admiring a picture in a box. Revision is like solving a puzzle inside that box. This is the exact difference between rereading and revision. Remember, revisions is what makes your brain sweat. Revisions will what makes your brain fit. The reason for this is because revisions are what makes the brain retrieve the data, restructure the data and recollect the data. Only by retrieving, restructuring and recollecting, you are actually doing true revision. So I hope from tomorrow onwards, you will start doing true revisions and not rereading. Alright guys, I hope the video was helpful, and the next time I meet all of you for mentorship, I don't want you to tell me the number of times you read the book. I want you to tell me the number of times you recollected from the book, and that is what matters. Remember, what you can recollect is what you can reproduce, and what you can reproduce is what will get you marks and success in this exam. I hope this was helpful guys. One last request is please share this video with as many people as possible, because the views matter to us. The more the views, the more incentive for us to work harder and provide such innovative videos that will help you in your journey of UPSC. Thank you so much for all the love and support guys. I'll see you again. Bye.